guys? It's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Joey Man. Joey Man sent me this update, and it's coming from our first favorite state, Ratchet FL Florida. They're back in the news, and this is the update. If you guys remember last year, I did this story about the young man who was caught molesting the 11-year-old boy. The young man's name was Ratchet FL Frolander, and basically he was caught in the act of molesting the 11-year-old boy, and the father beat this young boy half to death. It was crazy. He was lumped up. The young boy could have died, and a lot of folks, including myself, was giving the father props for, basically taking justice into his own hands. And now Raymond Frolander has been sentenced, and he is to serve 25 years in prison, okay? And so I want to go ahead and show you guys this update. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
An 18-year-old in Daytona Beach, beaten by the father of a child he sexually assaulted, is going to prison for 25 years.
He just pleaded no contest to an amended charge. In exchange, Raymond Frolander avoided a mandatory life sentence if convicted at trial. West 2's Claire Metz is live at the Justice Center and was in court for the plea.
Yeah, Frolander was caught in the act last summer by the 11-year-old victim's father, who took his outrage out on Frolander's face. Today, the family agreed to a plea deal, lewd and lascivious molestation instead of sexual battery, but the father is no less angry.
How do you plea?
No contest.
I accept your plea.
On the advice of his attorney, Raymond Frolander took a plea and was found guilty of molesting an 11-year-old boy as the child's family watched in court. We are not identifying them to protect the child, but the victim's father is still furious that Frolander, who he treated like family, could hurt his son. The father spoke briefly to us before pushing the cameras away.
He's going to learn in the next 25 years why I let him live. Now, I can't afford to replace y'all's cameras.
The father is referring to the beating he gave Frolander when the father returned home last July to find Frolander sexually battering his son. The father admitted then he would have killed Frolander if the victim, his son, hadn't stopped him. The father doesn't forgive, but the victim's grandmother does, and says the plea deal was for the boy, so he didn't have to go through a painful trial.
I've learned to go on, and now I just have to reinstill trust in my grandson. He just needs to learn to trust again.
Frolander will serve 25 years, followed by lifetime sex offender probation, and he'll wear an ankle monitor once he's released from prison. The victim's grandmother actually has some empathy for Frolander.
I feel for him. I wished somebody had gotten him help at some point, but this happened, and now the streets are free of a pedophile.
The victim was not in court for the plea deal. The family says he's living in another part of the state. He's gotten a lot of counseling. He's strong and getting better every day. They say they are now working actively to improve laws around the country when it comes to predators and children. We're live in Daytona Beach, Volusia County. Claire Metz, West.
All right, so you guys just saw that news clip, so I want to kind of spill some tea here. I ran across some information while, updating the story and just kind of following up on the story over the past few months. The father, who they didn't want to identify in the news clip, of course, we all know is Jason Browning. The thing that's always bothered me with this story is it seemed like a lot of people were making excuses for the 18-year-old who were in the 11-year-old boy's family. Now, if you guys watch the news clip, you can hear the grandmother still being very sympathetic towards the 18-year-old boy, saying that, she forgives him, she feels bad, that he too was a victim. And I'm thinking to myself, why does the grandmother feel so much, empathy towards somebody who molested her grandson? Now, I remember a few people emailed me back then during the summer saying that, there's more to this case. So Raymond Frolander was 18 years old when he was messing with the little boy. Raymond had also been molested by somebody in that family as well, and that they had feelings for each other, hence why the boy stopped the father from killing him, hence why the boy was protecting his molester. And at first it didn't make any sense to me, but now looking back at things that people were telling me back then, it kind of makes sense. And I think that this 18-year-old may have been railroaded, because shortly, I don't know if you guys realize this, but shortly after this story went national, the father, Mr. Brawling, decided to set up a GoFundMe page. He was looking to raise $1 million. Was this $1 million, to help children of molestation, to build some type of, community center? No, this was $1 million GoFundMe account for him and his family to take his son to Disney World because he was molested. My thing is, why would you put up a GoFundMe based on your child's molestation? Why would you want to capitalize on that? Anytime I see a parent capitalizing on something like that, it makes me give them the side eye. You know what I'm saying? Your son is going to need all types of treatment, all types of counseling, but for him to almost not care and set up this page looking for $1 million, and then once he got blasted online and got blasted in the media, he took it down, but at that point he only raised $145. People thought the father was full of shit, so he took it down. He was even using his son's real picture, because if you guys remember, the news media never showed the boy's picture. Nobody knew what the boy looked like. Well, the father posted the boy's picture. And then on top of that, I also found out that the father had been bullying people who were supporters of this boy, Raymond Frolander. Somebody had set up a Facebook page basically supporting him, saying that he was railroaded, he was not molesting a little boy, they were in some type of, you know, relationship that had started when Raymond was like 15 years old, which to me is sick, because no 15-year-old has a right to be molesting a 7 or 8-year-old child. There's just no excuse for this. But they're saying that the father has sent this picture of Raymond beat up. After he had beat him up, he had took some cell phone pictures of him, and he was sent it to this Facebook page, and the picture is really disturbing. Raymond looks like he's just knocked out for the count. He looks dead, and the father has his, you know, pants pulled down. They covered up his private parts, but this father took these pictures and was, you know, just sending this to people online. So I just feel like the father, to me, kind of came off as an attention whore. I feel like there's just way more to this story. And the fact that the grandmother is still sympathetic, I just feel like this whole story just does not make sense. As more has come out over the past few months, over the past year, I have to give the father the side eye. You know, it's just a lot of things that are just not making sense. You know, while, you know, I'm not making any excuses for this child molester, he had no business touching this child at all. Something with this entire story just does not sit well with me anymore. Like I always say, I just feel like something ain't clean in the buttermilk. I'm not ready to give this father of the year anymore, because his actions after the fact make me give him the side eye. Let me know your thoughts on this update. What do you guys think about the entire situation? Go ahead and leave a comment. Let's get the discussion popping on this crazy story that's once again coming from our first favorite state, Ratchet ass Florida. All right, deuces. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Lovely T, and you can show me some love by hitting that subscribe button, watching my previous videos, and following me on social media.